These are some of the strangest and most unusual fatal crashes in motorsport history, from a driver suffering a heart attack mid-race to a legend who remained missing for 30 years. These tragedies ultimately led to major improvements in the sport's safety. Denny Hulme was a Formula One champion who was born on June 18, 1936, in Motueka, New Zealand, developing a rugged work ethic while working as a garage mechanic before funding his early competition drives. Known as the Bear due to his muscular frame and blunt manner, Hulme earned international praise in single-seater racing, winning the 1967 F1 World Championship with Brabham. Across his decade-long Grand Prix career from 1965 to 1974, he earned 8 victories and 33 podium finishes, holding the unique distinction of winning a world title, with only 1 career pole position earned at the 1973 South African Grand Prix. Beyond Formula One, Hulme dominated the Canadian-American Challenge Cup by winning titles in 1968 and 1970 for McLaren, finished second overall at the 1966 24 Hours of Le Mans, and secured 4 victories at the RAC Tourist Trophy before continuing his active career in touring cars. The 1992 Tuhays 1000 on October 4, 1992, at the Mount Panorama Circuit in New South Wales, Australia, served as the 33rd running of the prestigious 1,000-kilometer touring car event under International Group A regulations. Hulme paired with Australian driver Paul Morris in a Semi-Works Benson & Hedges-sponsored BMW M3 to tackle the track layout, which featured narrow mountain passes, minimal runoff, and the high-speed Conrad Straight, where cars routinely reached speeds between 190 to 200 miles per hour. During the race, sudden weather shifts brought streaming rainfall, creating exceptionally treacherous track conditions. On lap 33, while traveling down the Conrad Straight at approximately 140 miles per hour in heavy rain, Hulme transmitted a radio message to his team pit crew, complaining of blurred vision. Moments after the radio transmission, his BMW M3 veered left and clipped the concrete retaining wall along the straight at 143 miles per hour before finally stopping at the chase.
See exactly what happened. Most of our cameras all ISO. This looks like Denny Hulme coming down. He's got a wheel out on the grass there, and it's brought him across the racetrack.
Now that doesn't look that dramatic, but you see what's happened is he's flicked his head sideways. You've got that support behind your head, but you haven't got the lateral support, and it's obvious.
Marshals arriving at the stationary vehicle found Hulme unresponsive and still strapped tightly into his harness, until it found out that he had already died from a sudden and massive heart attack mid-race. Demonstrating remarkable reflexive control in his final conscious moments, Hulme managed to guide the car across the track, away from the active racing line, applying the brakes and coasting to a gentle, controlled stop against the right-hand barrier on the grass verge. This event stands as an extraordinary anomaly in motorsport history, marking a pure natural medical fatality occurring mid-race without a dynamic vehicular impact, and making Hulme the first Formula One world champion to die of natural causes. This one is a record attempt, but still worth noting in this series. Donald Campbell was born on March 23, 1921, in Kingston upon Thames, United Kingdom, carrying forward the legacy of his father, Sir Malcolm Campbell, by capturing 7 world water speed records throughout the 1950s and 1960s. In 1964, Campbell achieved an unprecedented historic milestone by setting both the world land speed record and the world water speed record within the same calendar year. He reached 403.10 miles per hour on July 17, 1964, at Lake Eyre, Australia, driving the wheel-driven Bluebird CN7, and subsequently recorded 276.33 miles per hour on December 31, 1964, at Lake Dumbleyung in the jet-powered Bluebird K7 hydroplane. He remains the only people in history to claim both land and water speed titles in a single year. Determined to push his water speed mark past the 300 miles per hour threshold, Campbell organized a record attempt at Coniston Water in Lancashire, England, scheduled for early 1967. His vehicle, the Bluebird K7 hydroplane originally constructed in 1955, was re-engineered with a Bristol Siddeley Orpheus turbojet engine capable of producing over 4,500 pounds of static thrust. On January 4, 1967, surface conditions cleared sufficiently for the required 2 opposing runs across a measured kilometer course within a 1-hour window. During the initial leg, Campbell piloted Bluebird K7 to a recorded peak speed of 297.6 miles per hour. Seeking to avoid impending weather changes, Campbell elected not to refuel or wait for the water surface wash to dissipate, turning the craft around immediately for the return run, where telemetry recorded speeds peaking near 328 miles per hour. Approximately 200 yards before completing the measured kilometer, the combination of hydrodynamic lift under the front sponsons, aerodynamic lift under the hull, possible engine flameout, and hitting a residual wake from the first run, pitched the nose upward to a 45-degree angle, launching the K7 into the air, where it executed a complete 360-degree backward flip before slamming nose first into the water and disintegrating. Donald Campbell was killed instantly. The catastrophic crash was captured on live radio commentary and high-speed film, representing an early demonstration of aerodynamic blowover instability in high-speed watercraft. The wreck and Campbell's remains settled deep at the bottom of Coniston Water and remained undiscovered for 34 years, until specialized recovery teams located the remains in 2001, driving crucial advancements in hydroplane stability design and speed safety protocols. Henri Surtees was the 18-year-old son of 1964 Formula One world champion John Surtees and represented the next generation of open-wheel racing talent. He established his credentials in karting before progressing through Formula BMW, Formula Renault, and the British Formula 3 Championship. In 2009, he entered the relaunched FIA Formula 2 Championship, a single-spec category engineered by Williams Grand Prix Engineering and Jonathan Palmer to serve as a cost-effective feeder series for Formula One. Surtees demonstrated immediate competitiveness, securing his first series podium with a third-place finish during the first race of the doubleheader weekend at the historic Brands Hatch Circuit in Kent, England, on July 18, 2009. The second race of the weekend took place under dry conditions on July 19, 2009. Surtees was driving the 1,235-pound Williams JPH-1, powered by a 1.8-liter turbocharged Audi engine, producing 400 horsepower. As the field swept through the fast back section of the circuit, competitor Jack Clark lost control at Westfield Bend and struck the outer barrier at high speed. The extreme kinetic impact tore the left rear 64-pound wheel assembly away from Clark's car, snapping the mandatory safety tethers despite their design to withstand severe tension loads. The loose wheel bounced across the track, ricocheted off a barrier, and returned directly onto the active racing line. Surtees was accelerating through the Sheen curve at a speed around 100 miles per hour when the bounced wheel crossed his path. The airborne wheel struck Surtees squarely on his head before bouncing over his car, rendering him instantly unconscious. Surtees was instantly unconscious, and his car kept going straight into the barrier on the way to Sheen Curve. The car hit the barrier and came to rest at the end of the curve, with the engine at its limiter and the surviving rear wheel still spinning. The fact that Surtees' foot was still hitting the accelerator suggested that he had already passed out. Medics extracted him from the car and took him to the on-site medical center. then transferred him by helicopter to the Royal London Hospital. Surtees was declared brain dead later that day and died from the head injuries. The wheel impact, not the secondary crash, was deemed the fatal cause. He was only 18 years old. Championed by his father through the Henri Surtees Foundation, the FIA conducted a thorough inquiry that initially doubled the energy absorption threshold for wheel tethers. This research project ultimately led to the mandatory integration of the titanium halo head protection system across open-wheel categories by 2018, eliminating the structural exposure that caused Surtees' death. Henri Toivonen was the son of rally icon Pauli Toivonen and was widely regarded by his peers as one of the most naturally gifted rally drivers of his generation, accumulating 3 World Rally Championship victories and 185 stage wins. He achieved his breakthrough victory at the 1980 RAC Rally as the youngest driver to win a World Rally Championship event at the time. By 1986, the 29-year-old Finn served as the lead driver for the Martini Lancia factory team alongside his 36-year-old American co-driver Sergio Cresto. Entering the 5th round of the World Rally Championship at the Tour de Corse in Corsica on May 2, 1986, Toivonen held the lead in the World Drivers' Championship. Despite suffering from severe flu and high fever, he set blistering stage times on the narrow mountain roads carved into Corsican cliffs to build a massive lead. Toivonen was driving the Lancia Delta S4, a 1,962-pound mid-engined Group B car featuring a tubular space-frame chassis and a twin-charged 1.8-liter inline-4 engine utilizing both a supercharger and a turbocharger to produce over 500 horsepower, capable of accelerating from 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 3 seconds. The car was traveling between 70 to 90 miles per hour through stage 18 between Court and Taverna. 7 kilometers into the stage, the Lancia approached a tight left-hand corner lacking protective guardrails. The car somehow traveled over the edge of the road, plunging down a steep, heavily wooded ravine. The skidless underside of the chassis struck a grove of trees, rupturing the Kevlar-reinforced fuel tank positioned directly beneath the driver and co-driver seats. The pressurized petrol ignited instantly, triggering a big explosion that killed both Toivonen and Cresto. Because the accident occurred in a desolate section of the mountains without close spectators, marshals, or telemetry, and the exact cause of the crash still couldn't be verified. The intense fire completely consumed the composite bodywork and aluminum components, leaving behind only the bare steel space frame skeleton. Within hours of the crash, FISA President Jean-Marie Balestre announced a permanent ban on the high-powered Group B category and the cancellation of Group S, mandating Group A regulations for the 1987 season onward. The tragedy also revolutionized safety engineering, getting rid of the current fuel tanks in favor of flexible Kevlar-reinforced rubber bladders and requiring automated fire suppression systems across international rally competitions.